As you probably know, the Big Ten has proposed expanding the college football playoff to 24 teams, a plan which is gathering support from other conferences. Former Northwestern athletic director, current ACC commissioner Jim Phillips saying his coaches and ADs want to make the move with the goal of getting more deserving teams in with a spot to compete for the title, as well as to help support the increased investment in team rosters. More on this now from Mike and Ross.
That's right, Dave. Ross back again to join us and talk about some more topics. And Ross, you do a good job of simplifying things and making them understandable. So why is it important that the ACC is now behind this idea of a 24-team playoff?
Well, and not just the ACC, right? We've heard from the Big 12. We've heard from Notre Dame. They've all sort of swung their support behind Tony Petitti's 24-team playoff model. It's sort of a stunning about face, right? Just 4 months ago, those same entities, all with a vote in the CFP governance room, aligned behind the SEC and Greg Sankey's 16-team format idea. What changed, Mike? Pressure. Pressure from coaches, pressure from athletic directors on campuses. Schools are spending in excess of $30 million on their football rosters. I mean, the elite schools are probably spending, the biggest brands, many of those in the Big Ten, are probably spending over $40 million in their football roster. With the increase in investment in programs, coaches and ADs, in-school presidents want to see that investment met with more access, right? And the 24-team playoff would add 12 teams, 12 new games, and one new round. And it means eliminating conference championship games. And for the SEC, that's a problem. The biggest issue is the elimination of the championship game for the SEC, which is incredibly valuable, right? It's worth somewhere between $80 and $100 million. A reminder, they have to agree. The Big Ten and SEC must agree, both of them, in order for the format to change.
Yeah, so and that's a really important point, right? Nothing will change unless the SEC is on board. But it is interesting that all these other entities over the course of a handful of months have now followed suit. So what do you feel is the next step in this process?
Well, the pressure's on the SEC now, right? I think the pressure was on the Big Ten back in December and January when everyone sort of aligned behind a 16-team playoff, and Tony Petitti in the Big Ten didn't budge, right? They did not vote for the 16-team playoff, and thus it sort of stalled any movement right now. So the pressure's on the SEC presidents and Greg Sankey. In the league's ADs and coaches, some of them at least, are adding to that pressure, right? They want to see the playoff expand. They want more access. Someone in the SEC told me recently, if we're deciding between 12 and 24, we want 24, right? We want more access. League executives in the SEC meet in Destin, Florida next week, and this will be a huge agenda item topic. But the decision is unlikely to come next week. Instead, next month, CFP leaders gather in mid-June in Denver for their next in-person meeting, where they will receive a valuation, Mike, of just how much money a 2014 playoff could fetch in the open market. In order to recoup the value of all 4 conference championship games, they need at least an additional $250 million. We'll see if they can get it.
Well, and that is something that happens at the end of the season. At the beginning of the season, you have practices, specifically in the spring. Do we have potential changes on the horizon for how that's going to look for college football teams?
We do. This has been a long discussed issue of eliminating or shifting spring practice. The American Football Coaches Association released a plan last year that's gaining real momentum this year. And the plan would basically add 6 practices to the current 15 practice spring. So coaches will have a total of 21 practices, but they don't all have to do them in the spring. They have flexibility. They can spread them out over May and June and even into July. And I think we're going to see a lot of coaches end up doing that. There's many coaches, including several in the Big Ten, that would like to get rid of spring practice. Mike, it's cold up there in February and March and April, so they want to get rid of spring practice for more than just that reason, right? You have all your cohesive team when freshmen arrive in May. So it makes a lot of sense to kind of push those practices more into June and maybe into early July. You could have some OTA style, like NFL contactless practices, maybe even in July. But for me, this is a big moment in college sports and in the calendar. It's basically, if they do this, which I think they will, probably over the summer, they'll make this rule change for next spring. This is the first big step into an eventual elimination of spring drills.
Last big picture thing for you. One of the topics of conversation anytime fans of college sports get together is the concept of transferring, how it's been so different the last few years than previously. Ryan Day has thrown out the idea of having a minimum of 2 years before you're allowed to transfer. What are you hearing about that?
Well, it would be great to have some stability in college sports from a player movement, and Coach Day's suggestion would provide that. But that's kind of up to the schools, right? Like right now, that can happen. Schools can actually do this. They can sign players to revenue share agreements, 2-year binding revenue share agreements. And one thing that Big Ten has done, I think, better than probably all other leagues, is they have consolidated a uniform revenue share contract for athletes that's pretty binding, right? We saw that in the Damon Williams situation, the quarterback at Washington, who LSU tried to poach in January, but he had already signed his binding revenue share agreement. Well, these revenue share agreements often are 1 year. Well, the schools can do 2-year, right? And kind of do what Coach Day is talking about. Earlier, we discussed congressional bills like the SCORE Act and some other things going on in the Senate. And there is a one-time transfer sort of policy that the NCAA got rid of years ago because it got sued. Well, the congressional legislation that we talked about, Mike, could bring that back and could give Coach Day sort of what he wanted, where players stay a little longer at schools.
There's always a reason or 6 to have Ross Dellinger on and talk big picture stuff in college sports. Ross, thanks for your time, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, great being on.